And we take a closer look at rising concerns over a de facto leadership vacuum in South Korea and its possible impact on foreign policy and regional stability. Our correspondent Kim Jong-sil joins us here. Jong-sil, first of all, how has the U.S. responded to the political uncertainty here in the nation?
Well, Jungmin, before we mention about the U.S., I just want to go out of the way and say that South Korea's domestic crisis is now in the global spotlight as the possible impeachment of President Yoon raises serious questions about the country's leadership and its ability to manage diplomatic and security priorities. And to answer your question, the U.S. was quick to reaffirm its alliance with South Korea. Take a listen to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, what he said right after the martial law was lifted.
And I think Korea is one of the most powerful stories in the world about the emergence of democracy and democratic resilience. And we'll continue to look to Korea to set that example.
Now, just 2 days ago, acting President Han Duck-soo spoke with U.S. President Joe Biden for 16 minutes, reassuring Washington that all state affairs will proceed constitutionally. President Biden, in return, emphasized that the ROK-U.S. alliance remains firm and highlighted the importance of maintaining a strong joint defense posture.
Then what's been responses from Korea's neighbors, such as Japan?
Jungmin, Japan, which has closely followed the crisis, is particularly concerned about disruptions to trilateral cooperation. Japanese media warned that President Yoon's impeachment could reverse progress in South Korea-Japan relations, especially if the opposition party gains power. Here's Professor Lee Mul-chul of Gyeongnam University explaining Tokyo's stance.
Japan also thinks South Korea is a very important, partner country to deter North Korean provocations and also to deter Chinese, military build-up.
Professor Im added that this political crisis introduces uncertainty into the bilateral relationship between Seoul and Tokyo, raising concerns about the stability of regional cooperation. Another major concern stemming from this uncertainty is North Korea. While Pyongyang has remained unopinionated so far, only reporting the factual progress of the impeachment motion, there's speculation about whether it could exploit South Korea's leadership vacuum to heighten provocations. However, Professor Im argues that Pyongyang will likely refrain from making any reckless moves, especially during a time like this.
Under this kind of political crisis, the United States and South Korean militaries are likely to respond more forcefully to North Korea's, any military move.
That said, South Korea's government has faced growing domestic scrutiny, with ministers being questioned about their whereabouts and stance on the night martial law was declared. In response to rising tensions, the government is also taking steps to de-escalate the situation on the Korean peninsula, just in case. Unification Minister Kim Yong-ho recently revealed that the ministry requested civic groups to take a cautious approach in sending anti-North Korean leaflets. A ministry official explained to reporters this morning that the decision was made to address public safety concerns amid heightened sensitivities.
Now, Jong-sil, perhaps this political turmoil couldn't have come at a more sensitive time. What does this all mean ahead of the power transition in the U.S.?
Jungmin, looking ahead to January, experts are urging South Korea to really better prepare for U.S. President Trump. Professor Park Won-gon of Ewha Women's University highlights Trump's transactional diplomacy and leader-to-leader approach, which could present challenges during South Korea's transitional period. Take a listen.
Trump, and he's always thinking about all the relationship, especially with the allies and friendly countries, in a transactional way. So I don't think he considers the current South Korean government as a responsible partner, and he definitely will wait until they settle down.
Professor Park also stressed the need for South Korea to establish a comprehensive, united approach to deal with the U.S. during this critical period.
6 months is the most important month because all those the whole 6 months, Trump would decide his foreign policy, and he will appoint important positions and then setting down all this agenda.
Professor Park emphasized the need for unity across South Korean society, the people, academia, the government, and the opposition to overcome these challenges and prove to the international community that the country is back on track and credible. At the same time, countries with strategic interests in the Korean peninsula, like China and Russia, are closely watching how South Korea handles this crisis. Experts believe both nations will take a reserved yet cautious approach, adjusting their positions accordingly. The coming weeks will be pivotal, and South Korea must adopt wise and decisive measures to navigate domestic uncertainties while maintaining its role as a stable and reliable partner on the global stage.
We are going to have to monitor how South Korea navigates all this political and security crossroads. Thank you, Jung-shi, for the updates.